Let's start this video freshly showered. I do smell mighty delicious, if I do say so myself. Still using the gym shower every day, as long as the gym is open, since the world seems to be ending. Okay, the last video, which was about YouTube restricting the money or demonetizing or whatever the hell they want to call it, that seemed to strike a chord, not so much about the fact that I'm not getting paid, but just the discussion of money in general, because not all of us are trust fund babies, and in the interest of quitting the job or selling the house, going out doing your own thing on the road or anywhere else, money is obviously a huge issue and not often discussed. Reference trust fund baby. So one of the things that I talked about was terrible advice, and in that video I said pursuing your passion and turning that into a business or a career. I thought that was horrible advice, and that seemed to really strike a chord with people. So I thought our new thing could be, let's start each video with the worst advice we've ever received, and you can add yours to the comment section, and then I may actually start reading the comment section again. So I was thinking this week about another piece of terrible advice that I've heard, and let's go with positive thinking. Yes, positive thinking. You just have to want it enough. You just have to tell yourself in your head. You just have to think about it. Positive thinking is fantastic for self-soothing. So if your stress levels are through the roof, if you can kind of, positive think your way out of that, that can work. But positive thinking in regards to a career or business, that has it's not even in the arena of being successful in a career or business. The people, and go through any major success story that you know or that makes headlines, the people who actually succeed in business are the people not who thought the most positive thoughts. They're the people who were willing to pay the highest costs, universally. Nobody became a millionaire, a billionaire, changed the world, or anything because they just willed it in their head and just told themselves that they were just so capable. Nope. They were the people that put everything on the line. They were the people that heard no 50 times and went for it the 51st time. They were the people who were willing to pay the costs. That's it. That's what it matters in business. Period. I don't know. You know what? It's because it's easy to sell books when you go on this. You just have to believe in yourself mentality, because that's what people want to hear, because then that gives you a rain check from having to do actual work. If you don't believe me, let's just go through an exercise. If I said to you, do you want to have full control of your schedule? Yes. Do you want to be able to have control of your money and make potentially infinitely more than you would make in a job? Yes. Do you want to have an impact in your community? Yes. Okay. Do you want to potentially lose every single thing you have, financially, your house, everything? No. Do you want to work 6 to 7 days a week, 10+ hour days for potentially years before you have a profit? No. Okay, well then maybe you don't want to start your own business. If you just focused on the positive things, and this is what we do with college kids and high school kids, we just, what do you want to do when you grow up? And we sell them on the positive, and we never tell them what the cost is. Then when they get into the workplace, when somebody would hand me a new reporter, it would be like this crying mess in the bathroom, because we never told them about the cost, and they weren't invested in the cost, and they weren't willing to pay the cost, and so it didn't work out. That's why they changed their major. TV is a great one. Do you want to have some fame on the local or national level? Well, yes. Hold on. I'm trying to air this out, so I got to keep it over here. Do you want to tell stories that potentially change laws and impact the community? Yes. Do you want to be on TV? Oh my God, yes. Do you want to work every single holiday? Christmas, New Year's, Easter, your birthday, all of it? No. Do you want to have blocks, months throughout the year where you can't go on vacation? No. Do you want to have to stay behind during a natural disaster while your family goes away? No. Do you want to pump breast milk in the back of a live truck van while your photographer smokes a cigarette out front? No. Well, then maybe you don't want to be a reporter. If we actually went through what the costs are, we would delineate quickly who is actually going to succeed in something. But that's so rough of a conversation to have, and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So instead, we tell you you just gotta want it. You just gotta visualize it. You know what? While you're visualizing it, why don't you go out and do some fucking work? Then you'll know pretty quickly whether or not you have what it takes. So, positive thinking. That is the worst career business advice that I've ever gotten. Again, great for self-soothing, has no place in running a business as far as I'm concerned. And I can't wait to hear all the fragile people who are going to argue with me about that with a lot of exclamation points in the comments section. So looking forward to it. All right, let's move on. Something else that really hurt somebody's feelings was when I talked about ways to make money on the road. And this is a huge topic. Because usually the advice you get comes from a blog or a YouTuber, and that person is making money on a blog or YouTube, and so they tend to suggest that. And I, for one, would never tell you to start a YouTube channel and never tell you to start a blog. It's working for them, so it's easy advice to give. But the marketplace is saturated with blogs, and it is really hard to get monetized on YouTube. And we've talked about this, but the money is just not there for the time that you have to put into it. So in that list of things that I said were not great ideas about how to make money on the road, one of them was the Sugar Beet Festival. And boy, did I upset some man. You're still wrong about that. Now, keep in mind that money is a lot of perception. So if $8 an hour or $10 an hour is a lot of money to you, which it could be to certain people, then rock on. Go pick all the sugar beets in the world. I don't give a damn. To most people, that is not going to afford the travel, RV, van lifestyle. So let's just do a little math. I love doing math because math is where reality is, not in feelings. So I pulled up some stories about people who had actually done the Sugar Beet Festival, and then some details from the Sugar Beet, not festival, harvest, whatever, I don't care. So you're looking at the months of October, so late fall, and Minnesota, North Dakota, on Montana. So let's just acknowledge that right away, if you were hoping to snowbird it and go to warmer climates in the winter, you're now deliberately driving to where it's very, very cold in October. 12-hour shifts. That's either going to be 12 hours during the day or 12 hours at night. 12 hours. Let me say it one more time. It's a 12-hour shift with the potential of overtime. 7+ consecutive days if the weather is good. So you will work 7 days in a row, 12+ hour days, and you only get a day off and all that if the weather is so horrible. Is this still on? Anyway, so the only way you're going to get a day off is if the weather is so dreadful that you can't work outside. Otherwise, 7+ days. You do get free camping. It will be cold as hell. And what it says, so there's no, I can't get like a hard number here, but in 2 weeks, they say up to $2,500. Up to, that means that's the best case scenario. Now maybe through overtime, some people crested that. But so the math on that is people make a minimum of $12 an hour. Now take out tax. And if you didn't set up an LLC, then you are not a pass-through entity, which means you're going to pay self-employment tax, which is going to take all your money away from you. So after tax, you're making about $10 an hour. I don't know about you, but for $10 an hour, my ass is not outside in near zero temperatures pulling sugar beets. No. The point of doing this is that actually do the math before you sign up for this stuff, because some of these things get like a little culty where it's like, oh, we're going to and you know, it's like communal, and that's fine if you want to do it just for fun, but actually supporting your life on the road. $10 an hour. All right, now let's go fill up your RV or van gas tank. there's $60. So you're going to have to work 6 hours just to fill up your gas tank. How long is that going to last you? Like, do the math out. One more. This one seems to be more along the female persuasion, and this is more conversational of messages I've gotten from people. But women in particular want to sell things out of their RV. I have met people while traveling who made like gypsy trinkets, like stuff out of glass or sawdust, or I don't know. They make these trinkets and then they go from festival to festival selling them. And I really met a lot of these people when I had the bakery and I would do farmers markets and events and festivals. And just so you know, usually to get into these festivals, you have to apply 6 months to a year out. It's usually at least $100 entry fee for your space. You're going to have a 10 by 10 tent. And the biggest risk there is that if the weather is bad, you are not selling a damn thing. However, I do know that some of these people, when they have a good day, like at the Southport 4th of July, the woman next to me, I'm selling all my bakery stuff, and this lady made homemade wind chimes. So she had, dozens and dozens of these wind chimes, and every time there was a breeze, it sounded like there was a bombing next to me. I wanted to kill her. Very nice woman. So she would make like $400. Now, $400 minus the $100 entry fee, divide that by a 12-hour day. You do the math and decide if that works for you. But just know that you are not going to roll up into a town and apply to sell your gypsy trinkets at the fair the next day. There's always a process for this. Always. And then the one that I would strongly advise against, which when people suggest this, I just assume that they are not aware of any kind of laws, is selling food out of your RV. Like making baked goods or no-bake cookie dough pops, or, selling homemade frosting or barbecue sauce or all that. I don't know about all the states, but I know that in North Carolina, South Carolina, most of them, there are really strict rules against, they're called cottage laws, against manufacturing food at home, and that is to protect the consumer. In North Carolina, you have to have someone from the state come and inspect your home if you're going to be making food out of your home, and you can only make baked goods. They come with like Q-tips and paper towels. They swab, they inspect with a flashlight. It's a whole big process. You have to make labels. Every single product has to be labeled. It has to be to their standard. You have to have all your ingredients. You have to weigh all your items. That has to be listed below. You have to have insurance up the wazoo because it's food. If you sell food, I don't care if it's a no-bake cake pop, out of your RV, and something was to happen, let's look at the cost. Someone finds something in it, someone gets sick, they get a dog hair or whatever. Oh, that's another thing. You absolutely can't have pets anywhere near food production. And the state or the health department goes back to where they bought it and finds out that it came out of an RV that was processing, an RV that's not even in their state, that was traveling through. Some attorney is going to come for everything you have, and chances are you will be on the news in some form. Please, for the love of all things holy, do not manufacture food out of your RV. That is risk beyond what you will ever make in a homemade barbecue sauce. I wouldn't, even if I didn't like you, I would tell you not to do that. Okay, so what are some things that might actually work? I'm not going to go through all the traditional advice like telecommuting or Upwork or all that. You can find all that stuff on other blogs and YouTube channels. What I tried to think of are things that are needs, because a good business, and again, I'm not telling you to get a second job because I'm trying to keep you from paying more taxes. A good business is based on, does it solve a problem and do people need it? the trap that most people fall into, that I have fallen into when I did the bakery, is they come up with something that they're good at, like a hobby, and then they try to monetize it, but hobbies usually aren't based on need. And if people don't need your product, then it's optional, and chances are it will not live very long. With the bakery, when I would sit down with the Small Business Administration, they would say, well, why does Wilmington need another bakery? And I couldn't answer that question. I made cakes that had offensive messages written on them. And my answer was, I think Wilmington needs to laugh a little. But that wasn't enough to generate enough sales to keep it going, period. Because it wasn't a need. And there were too many substitutes. You could go to Sam's Club, Harris Teeter, the grocery store, and get a cake and get a tube of icing and write your own offensive message on it. So it didn't work. It didn't last that long. You need to come up with some kind of business idea if you're not going to do the more traditional things like Upwork or telecommute, all that, freelancing, that solves a problem and addresses a need in your proximity. And the challenge you have is that you are going to be moving your location. So here are some things that when I stayed at RV parks or when I talked to other RV people that were needs that I did not see anyone addressing. And these are my ideas for you to take, modify, but only ones that I think will actually work on the road based on my experience on moving locations very quickly and going throughout half the country. Number 1, RV repairs. I never saw anyone doing this in a park. Never. Now, maybe there's a reason for that, but if you know that in a year or 2 years you're going to head out on the road, that gives you plenty of time to get a basic electrician certification, mechanic. If you only want to do a part of that, learn everything you can about tires. Maybe you already have this skill set. Ladies, maybe your husband already has this skill set, your man bun boyfriend, whoever it is. But the problem is that on all of our rigs, something is always broken, whether that's your van or your RV. Remember when my inverter blew and I was screaming and crying and afraid trying to hot wire my battery by myself? It was because all the RV shops, all the mechanic shops, were booked out 2 months in advance. So there was nobody who could see my electrical issue for that amount of time. So what were my options? Well, you could call a mobile repair tech if you can get on his schedule. But what if I need to leave in 2 days? If you had a little business that you moved around wherever you wanted to travel, and when you got to a park, you put up one of those stands at, say, the front gate, got permission from the park owner, and then maybe next to your rig, and it said, I don't know, Bob's Mobile RV Rig Repair Service, at least half of that park has something that they need fixed. I promise. And you can work on your own schedule. Chances are they'll be out during the day, so you'll have free range to work. You'll be providing a great service. You can charge a really good fee because there is no substitute. They can't get in to see an actual mechanic or whoever at a bay for probably weeks. And the mobile tech guy is busy and they need to leave right now. So you would be providing a tremendous service to people who absolutely need it right now. You are not going to work out in the miserable weather, unless it's raining, and you are going to absolutely make more than $10 an hour. And then if you formed an LLC, you can then take your rig and write your rig off. You can write off your tools. You can write off the insurance for the company. Absolutely have insurance if you're touching anyone's rig. But you've got a little business now, and you are providing a great service that is absolutely needed. So that is my number 1. Number 2, RV rig cleaning. These people want to be on vacation. They do not want to clean their rig. No, and actually that reminds me, I forgot one more. I'll mention that in a second. They want to go out. They want to have fun, especially people who are retired. Same thing, put up a little sign. Please, for the love of God, do not go stick pieces of paper in people's windshields. That's like Chinese buffet level advertising. No, I hate when people do that because it's waste. But, walk around the park, introduce yourself. My name is so-and-so, and I do detailing of rigs. You need one little vacuum that has the small nozzles that you can vacuum everything up. You can bring some cleaning supplies and some rags. And I will, while you're out running around and enjoying your vacation or your retirement or whatever, want to have a date night, I will detail your rig for you. Same thing. Right off. You've got now a mobile business, you provide a great service, and I can think of plenty of times where I had to clean this thing and I just have other things to do, and it would be great to come back for the same reasons that it's great to have someone clean your house. So there's an idea. In that same, perhaps as like an extension idea, an extension service, laundry. Ugh. Doing laundry at an RV park sucks. A lot of times the machines are nasty or broken, or there's a line of people. So kind of in the way, there are some mobile laundry services. I think there's one in Wilmington. Go around and introduce yourself. Make it an available option. You don't need any special skills for this. You can have them bag up their stuff and just say tomorrow morning, kind of like how a hotel does laundry. Say tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, I'm going to go around the park and I'm going to pick up everyone's laundry. You can have tags, tag the bags. If they have special soap, like I have to have Gain and Tide. I cannot clean clothes without those things. And I want my clothes to smell like me. So if you want to use your soap, get everything together, pick it all up at 8, and don't waste your time at those crappy little RV park washing machines. Go to a laundromat, take up a whole row. You can do it on a Monday. There's no one ever there on a Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then when those are done, throw them in the dryer, fold them, deliver them to the door. You could probably charge, I don't know, I think they do it $1 a pound at a laundromat, but you wouldn't be able to weigh them. Just come up with a per load fee, and then add a service charge. Taking away the responsibility of doing laundry on a road, you might be able to charge whatever you want. Because no one wants to do it. They're there to enjoy the scenery. They don't want to go stand in a laundromat, and they don't want to use the one in the RV park because stuff gets moved around and lost or stolen. Third idea, RV pet sitting. We know that van people love keeping dogs in teeny tiny vans without windows or AC. But this is true of all people at RV parks or boondocking sites. They bring the pet, and then if they want to leave the pet, you really can't do that if it gets too hot or too cold. So you can offer that as a service, where if you just want to have a day to kind of hang out, say bring your dog over, we'll walk the dog, bring the food, or we'll go over to your RV if you'd feel more comfortable leaving your animal there, and we'll feed the dog, we'll let the dog out to pee. You can go and enjoy your whole day. There's an app called rover.com, and they kind of use this service. That app does not let you adjust your zip code very easily. So I would just make it a one-on-one connection. If you stay at a huge park, there are going to be pets everywhere, and just offer that as a service. You want to go have fun today? Leave the dog. We'll take care of the dog. Technically, you could do that with children too, but I would not, for liability reasons, watch other people's children. Plus, children can kind of suck. You'll ruin your trip if you do that. Another service, Grocery Getter. A lot of campgrounds and a lot of RV parks are nowhere near a grocery store, or it's significantly away, or maybe I just need one thing. Same thing, offer it as a service, maybe every Monday and Wednesday, or just Monday and Wednesday if you're only going to be staying there for a week, or tomorrow. You can tell people, give me your grocery list, and you will pay me the amount of the groceries plus a service fee. This one is a little bit more involved. There's also an app that you can kind of do this through. You wouldn't really be able to do a lot of people, because if they have a lot of groceries, your car won't fit it. And you'll also have to keep some kind of system to keep food cool if it's very hot out. But it could just be a Grocery Getter run thing. Maybe instead of cold food, you just offer toiletries, or that you'll go do the shopping trip, come back, and they pay you that service fee. And chances are they're going to tip you. And the tip is the cash, which is what you wanted in the first place. And I forgot to mention that all these, the question could become, well, how do you get paid? And ideally, you get paid in cash. But if that's not an option, what I had for the bakery was Square. It takes 2 seconds to fill out an application online for Square. They mail you this little attachment. Actually, I think now it's a swiper or it's a chip. And you can swipe people's credit cards, and it takes out a service fee. If you want, you can add that service fee back onto their bill. But you can take credit cards right from your phone, and then it deposits that money into your bank. So credit or cash, both work for you. I would not take a check on the road. And whatever you do, do not agree to accept money after the fact, because once they pull out of the park, you're never going to see them again, or their money. Next idea, exercise. I exercise every single day. If I didn't, I would be an even more aggressive person than I already am. Can you imagine? The gyms in even nice RV parks are horrible. And typically the nearest Planet Fitness or Anytime Fitness is not terribly close, and there are parts of the country where there's no gym, or it's just a rinky-dink gym in a small town. And I want to work out. Well, if you're into fitness and you are a personal trainer or could become a personal trainer or a group instructor, get some of those exercise rubber bands, get a couple medicine balls. They're not going to weigh a whole lot. Maybe some rollout mats. And same thing. Walk around and introduce yourself, or put up a sign and say, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to have RV camp boot camp, and we're going to do drills and work out. Oh, I would pay somewhere between $10 and $20 a class just so I didn't have to think about it. You know, I could just get it done. So if that's something that you're into, working out, I thought about doing this. I tried to partner with Anytime Fitness and get some of their gear and have them wrap my van and go do exercise like classes in parks and campgrounds. But Anytime didn't think that I had enough of a following for it to be worth their money. And then I remembered that I don't particularly like being around people for long amounts of time, so it wasn't going to work. But that is a service that I don't think I've ever seen at a park, is someone who was into fitness and willing to do a group exercise session or even a personal training session one-on-one. And you could adapt that no matter what location you were in. If you're near the water, do it at the lake, at the beach, run hills if there's a trail nearby. The options are endless there. Okay, RV inspector. RVIA, I think that's the name of the organization. This is a growing industry because people now, they buy RVs, there's a bunch of stuff wrong with them. Slowly but surely, the general public is finding out that even if it's brand new, there's probably a bunch of quirky things wrong with it that you have to fix, or they buy used and they want to know if it checks out. You can take a class through this organization and become an RV inspector. If you look at the list of available inspectors, they're few and far between. So it would be a very interesting service that is in demand if you were able to move around and get the word out that you are in that location and you are able to go check out people's rigs for them. I'm not sure if you went to a dealership and said, hey, I'm going to be in town for a week. If anyone wants an inspection, they may or may not take you up on that. I noticed any dealership I talked to, when I mentioned getting an independent RV inspection, they tried to shoot that down pretty quick. So that part may not work out for you. But if you set up a website and you know a thing or two about SEO, search engine optimization, and you let people know through your social media or through the website what part of the country you were in, you might be able to generate a fair amount of business doing RV inspections for people. Typically, they charge somewhere between $350 and $750 an inspection, and they're usually out there for 6 hours. And the accuracy and worthwhile is up to interpretation. Some people think that they're worth every penny, and some people think that you can do it on your own. all I'm saying is a lot of people are starting to look into these, and there are not enough RV inspectors out there. So that's a problem that you can solve. And then finally, my last idea was to sell insurance that speaks to the travel population. The health insurance company that I have, which I got because one, it was only $300 a month because they only insure healthy people. And two, because it was available anywhere in the country, which few plans are. And three, because they have teledoc, which means I can have a call with the doctor instead of actually going to a doctor's office. They have right on their website how to become an agent. So become an agent. And then when you are out there meeting other travelers, ask them about their health insurance. Is it working for you? Do you have nationwide coverage? And if they don't, and there's a need, then you can sell insurance with nothing more than a computer. Same goes for RV and van and car insurance. This question is asked all the time on the Grand Design Forum. What's the best insurance? How do I get full-time insurance? All that. Well, find a company that's offering full-timer or RVs that are on the road a lot, not just sitting in a garage, and that has competitive rates. I use Progressive for mine, and see what it takes to become an insurance agent, and have that conversation with people right in the park. Again, something that everyone needs that I've not seen anybody doing. Go for it. Just go for it. All right, so these are my ideas for things that solve problems that I've not seen enough people or any people actually pursue, and also that I feel are more tangible opportunities for a wide swath of people versus the typical freelance, start an online business and all that, because the truth is, to start a successful blog or website or YouTube channel, you need to know an awful lot about SEO and website design. And if that is not your skill set and you're looking to leave sooner rather than later, you may not have enough time to kind of educate yourself on that. And these are money today versus a blog, which, might make a couple cents a day until it suddenly takes off, if it even does. And that's okay. I think that is kind of all I wanted to cover in this one. The only thing that I'm going to wrap up in saying as a word of caution, and we've slightly addressed this before, in the topic of should I sell my house to hit the road. This week, I was at my fifth bank, and this bank, Bank of America, I have been with before I had my driver's license. So a long time ago. They have been able to see, in that period of time, every single thing I've bought, everything I've sold, how I handle money. I have never missed a single credit card payment. I have never overdrawn my bank account. They know exactly how much money I have in the bank. My mortgage was with them, so they watched how I paid my mortgage every month. The Babe Bus loan was with them, same thing, successful loan payments. And I offered them a 20% down, which very few people have, because we are not in a generation of saving anymore. Why would we when you can just put it on credit? I offered them 20% down, and I said I need a loan because everywhere else, all the other banks would not give me a loan for property. And I got rejected. I have a perfect credit score, a near perfect credit score. So with 20% down, with years of history of watching me responsibly handle money, knowing that I'm making money shooting videos for other companies now, they would not give me a loan. Here's the irony. They will give, and this is not just Bank of America, but if you have the standard life of getting a W-2, an employer's paycheck every 2 weeks, if you had no money to put down, zero down, hello 2008, zero down, student loan debt, as long as you had a W-2 and could show you were making a regular paycheck, they would give me a loan for that. but they will not give me a loan because now I'm self-employed and my income every month to month is not the same. It varies. Won't give me a loan. So I am frozen out of the mortgage industry right now, which means I don't have a great solution for a place to build my little farm / RV park, or to put the rig when I'm not on the road or anything like that. And that is really frustrating. I've used stronger words than that. But I'm telling you this because I want you to learn from my situation that getting caught up in this daydream, this positive thinking daydream of selling everything, buying a depreciating asset, and then hitting the road, I just want you to know, especially anyone who is retired, that if you ever, until you die, want to circle back and get property or get a home, anything, loan-wise, if you do not have that W-2, if you have been unemployed for a while, if you are self-employed, if you are making money on commission, anything like that, you are not going to be able to get a mortgage unless you are just so much craftier than I am. So please think about that, because while I do not regret selling my house because of how old it was, if you can hold on to that property and rent it out, I would strongly advise you, because when you take that money from the house and spend it all out on the road and then come back, I really hope you like renting, because a mortgage company is not going to lend to anything less than a totally traditional situation. And that's because banks write loans that they are going to sell that mortgage to Freddie Mac and Sallie Mae. Whatever Freddie Mac and Sallie Mae's rubrics are, which include showing predictable income, that's their biggest. If you don't fit that, it doesn't matter how good of a relationship you have with your bank. That means that they can't sell your mortgage, and if they can't sell your mortgage, they are not going to write you one in the first place. The woman from Bank of America was like, I'm so sorry, because you like, we should be able to give it to you, but your income is inconsistent, and you went from having a W-2 to not having one, and we really need you to show much more of a profit for 2 years, and then we'll revisit it. So I have to forgo my legal right to tax deductions off my LLC to show a much bigger profit on paper to the bank so that I can have the right to own a home. Even though throughout my entire lifetime, I have never missed a bill payment. I have always figured out a way to get the money when I need it, and I am earning an income off of selling my videos to corporations and organizations. What's really going on here is that because banks were irresponsible in 2008 and before, we now get to carry that burden. Yay. So I'm only telling it to you because if you are getting ready to do this, please think long and hard about how you're going to handle your house. And please think long and hard. I don't care how many daydream books you read, or blogs, or videos, or any kind of human bullshittery that is out there on the internet. You do not know how long you're going to do this for, and you need to prepare for how the financial world is going to perceive this lifestyle change. If you have millions and millions of dollars, you don't need to be watching this video. The rest of us need to plan, and plan hard, because the banks are not in the business of building your dreams. They're in the business of selling loans and mortgage and collecting interest. And good for them. It's just going to screw you. We need to go on a little bit of a road trip today, because as it turns out, if you buy a cello and have no idea how to play said cello, you don't just open up the box and become Yo-Yo Ma. You can't immediately start the orchestra to Jinja Ninja the musical. Ooh. Much to my dismay, it's back here. I get the whole thing out, and then I find this here thing. Now, I've watched plenty of videos on YouTube of other people playing the cello, and it's like, right? How hard can it be? I know there's some skill involved, but still. So I open it up, and I put it on the stand, and then I get this, and I just start going to town. Like a sword fight. And there's no sound. It doesn't make any noise. Something must be wrong. I'm hoping it's not broken. So I take there's like this knob thing on here, and I tighten it up. Get this all, whatever this is. Tighten it up, and then twist the knobs on the top. Get everything all perky, and go back at it, like violently assaulting this, and there's no sound. None. Not even like a ee. Because that's how I'm imagining it's going to sound when I start playing this. There is a woman named Jenny who works at the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office Animal Shelter, who I met when I shot a documentary on them. She also rescues bunnies, and I know she plays the cello. So I send Jenny a message, and I said, hey, I bought a cello. You bought a what? Why? It doesn't matter. I bought a cello. How do I turn it on? Is it electric? No, it's not electric. It's a cello. There's no plug. And she said, well, you don't turn it on. And she goes, well, did you put the bridge on it? What bridge? I'm assuming there was like this little kit of accoutrement. I'm assuming this is a bridge. I don't know where it goes. It's cute though. It's very decorative. And I said, okay, I think I have this thing called the bridge. And then they sent me a container of lip gloss. Lip gloss? Yeah. Resin? I don't know. We got that far and she was like, put the cello away and come to my house. Fine. Because at her house is also bunnies. A woman after my own heart. Loves officers, loves animals, and plays the cello. Oh God, a string fell off. We are off to play with bunnies and teach Casey how to play the cello. And everyone just start praying for Jenny now, because this promises to be a shit show. Shit.
Let's go.
No.
Very good.
Thank you. Anyway, did y'all learn something? Okay, so in the comment section, let's put worst advice I've ever received. And if you have any ideas that please are not the traditional nonsense about start a blog on the internet, if you have some ideas for ways that people can make money while they're on the road, while they're self-employed, moving different locations throughout the country, rock and roll, also add them there, and then I'll take some of those ideas and we'll put that in the next video. I'm going to go paint the handles of the War Wagon because they're silver and hideous, and I'll see you weirdos all later.